Good morning. How is everyone? I'm going to pull the camera a little bit closer. Happy Friday. Who do we have here today? Anybody want to say hello? Yes, welcome. It's Friday and it's a good time to do some yoga. If you've been with us over the past couple of weeks, we've had a series that hi, Natasha. Hi. Say hi to Martin, too. The last couple of weeks, we've been talking about seeds and roots. So and energy. And today we're going to also talk about chakras. So in particular, we're going to talk about our root chakra. So for any of you who are not familiar with what chakras are, there is a concept in the yogic system that in addition to our physical body, we have an energetic body, and there are different variations of it, but in the one that I've studied, you basically have 7 chakras starting down at the base of your body all the way up to the crown of your head. And the reason I'm going to raise the discussion about chakras, hello, Jane. Happy birthday, Jane. The reason that I'm going to raise this discussion about chakras is when you first start practicing yoga, oftentimes we really are focusing on the physical. And it is super important. I cannot stress how important our physical body is, and in fact, more and more. However, the more you practice, sometimes you start to feel some changes in your body at a physical level, but also at an energetic level. And one of the reasons that happens was when you do these movements, like a big stretch with your arms. Everybody stretch your arms, right? Feels good, right? There's a tension that's released. As we grow up, we develop all sorts of patterns in our body, whether they're physical, mental, or emotional. And these patterns can create some rigidity in the body. And over time, they can be detrimental to us. So one of the things we want to do in yoga is start to recognize those patterns, which we do through conscious movement and breath work, and slowly unwind them. So today in particular, I would like to focus on our roots. And if you remember last week, we talked about our roots resting in our belly, right? So in terms of our source. So that's one way of looking at it. But today I'm going to look a little bit more at our physical roots. So we'll work a lot on the pelvis and the legs. And just to kind of pop an image in your mind right now, if you can imagine a seed when it forms, this little seed of potential energy, the only way that tree or plant is going to start to grow up is it first has to root down. It first has to send those roots down. And we often realize that the trees that are the biggest are the ones that have the deepest and widest roots. And coming back to what we did last week, when I talk about the roots, there is this sense actually that the roots start more at your belly. And why is that? Because if you were to compare the human body to a tree, the energy that's lifting up is really from the belly up. So that could be sort of like the trunk going up all the way to our branches. And then the energy from the belly down is pretty much our roots. So anyhow, enough discussion. Let's just settle into a comfortable seated position. Before actually you do that today, we will need blocks. And if you have a strap, it'd be very helpful. If not, maybe a scarf. And finally, a blanket. So everyone, please get comfortable and find your seat in Siddhasana, if possible. That's when one foot is in front of the other, or you can go into Sukhasana, easy pose, where just cross your legs. And if that's not comfortable, if you have any tight knees, just stretch out your legs. So everybody just close your eyes. Find a nice long spine. And maybe just have the sense of that base in your body. So now instead of standing, extending into the earth, your roots are a little bit more condensed. And from the strength and stability of your base, take a deep inhalation all the way from the tip of your spine, the tailbone, to the crown of your head. Exhale through the mouth. Let's all do that one more time. Inhale up the spine. Exhale through the mouth. And then just close your mouth and just focus on that breath again. Just kind of visualizing that you're drawing the energy from your support, your structure, the base, all the way up the spine to the crown of the head. And then you can send that energy back down, almost like it's looping up the back of the spine, over the head, down the front of the body, down to the base. That's called a microcosmic orbit. I know. So just inhale up the back of your spine. The energy comes over the top of your head and it loops down, back all the way to the earth, back to your perineum. And it comes back up. And just keep following this looping circle that you're creating. So you've got this awareness that you're almost creating an energetic circuit. Maybe it's just conceptual, but maybe you can begin to feel it. And now let go of any thought of this movement and just drop your attention to your belly. Bring your awareness to your belly. And just notice the softness in the belly, the sense of openness. There's a gentle ease. So again, we're starting from a space of potential. In our practice today, we're going to strengthen, stabilize. And when we do that, we're able to move from below and move up. This pertains to the physical body as well as our internal and external worlds. We create a stable base in our mind, a steadiness and ease in the body and in the breath. You can just take one deep inhalation, exhale, squeezing into the belly. One more time, inhaling, exhale, squeezing in. And just release that squeeze and gently open your eyes. And just notice how you feel right now. Now, from this place of stability, let's start to move. So we're going to begin with just these little circles right down around the center. breath is nice and gentle to start. We haven't quite activated the breath yet. We're going to use it though. The breath is sort of our, um, our tool of alchemy, our chemical tool that we can use to make shifts in the body. Let's go the other direction. Nice, easy movements. You're just noticing, keeping the awareness in the belly, feeling the movement in the lower abdomen. And then come back to center. And then we're going to exhale, squeezing all the way down. And we're going to inhale forward. So you're going to make it really exaggerating, lifting the head up. Exhale, curve the spine back. Inhale, lift all the way. The chin lifts up all the way. And continue to make these generous, exaggerated movements with the spine, starting to wake up our spine. We'll do 2 more like this. Now let's go the other direction. So you're going to kind of go forward, so sort of a straight back. The chin comes out, and then you release down, you curve back. Leaning forwards with the chin. And slowly start to deepen the breath, matching the movement of the breath with the movement of the body. And just do 1 more. And then we can all come back to center and then take our legs right out in front of us. So you can straighten your legs and just shake them out a little bit. Shake them out and then just maybe turn your legs in and out like this. Let's start to wake up the body with, instead of doing the tapping today, we're just going to do like one big swoosh. So we're going to start with our arms actually. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's do that together. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, legs now. So legs, you come down the outside of the leg and up on the inside. Let's begin. 1, 2, 3. Other side. 1, 2, 3. Take the hands in front of you. Do some squeezes, waking up the fingers. At the same time, you can start to squeeze your toes. See if you can become aware of the toes and the fingers at the same time. Yes. Okay. Now, come back up into a boat pose. We're going to use our hands to stay here, and we're just going to work on moving our ankles a little bit. Just take your right ankle first. Other way. And other foot, left foot. Other way. And then you can just straighten your legs. Do a quick boat, not too long. You're already waking up, right? Okay, cross the legs. Come over to all fours. And then we're actually going to do a movement where we're going to push ourselves back to child's pose. And then we're going to roll forwards into a cobra. Come all the way down. Lift up. So just some slow movements to get the body starting to warm up. So the head remains down. So you're in a cat pose. Release. You push up. And you push back. letting the breath lead you. Inhaling up. Exhale, push back. Inhale all the way forwards. As you release, inhale back up. Exhale back down. Let's do one more of these. And just take 3 breaths in child's pose. Just enjoying the breath, enjoying the expansion you feel in your back. And then just staying in child's, just lift the head up and start to walk the hands to the right side. Placing the head on the floor. And then we'll walk the hands the other direction to the left side. Taking 3 breaths with your head on the floor. And then come back to center. Once you're back to center, just walk up to seated. Take your toes to the earth. And then we're going to sit back on our toes. Take the arms all the way above the head. Push the hands up. You're going to nice stretch here. And release the hands down. And then you're going to take your palms to the earth. And then you're going to start to turn them around. So first they're going to go sideways. And then the fingers will come back to you. And this is when you're going to feel a little pull in the wrist. And just notice if it's too much for you or not. If it's too much pressure on the wrist, you can just stay forward like this. If you're okay, you can start to sit back. You might notice one wrist might be a lot tenser than another. Again, these are those patterns that I was mentioning in the body, patterns of use that you have over the years that over time become restrictive. So we try to help to undo these patterns slowly through yoga. Taking a few breaths here. And let's add a little curve to the spine here. So exhale, curving in. Inhale, looking up. A little funny cat-cow. Do 2 more. You might even find you're feeling a little warmth building by what seems like something rather benign, rather simple. And then we're going to come back to center. Release your feet. Place your hands in front of you. And let's do a little more work to strengthen our core. Take the left foot back. Right arm forwards. And 5 deep breaths here, really squeezing into the belly, squeezing into the center. Using the element of fire. 5 deep breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to switch to the other side, 5 breaths. So in yoga, you don't just start with your root chakra, you actually use the fire of your 3rd chakra, and you send it down to work on your 1st. So that's why the belly is so important. That's why we emphasize squeezing the belly. Okay, come back to center. We're just going to push up onto our knees. Lift our knees up. Okay, so right now, it's like you're in a lifted table. So right here, you feel the stability of the body. Feeling the connection to the earth. The earth element is sort of a dusty yellow, and it's a square shape. As you're ready, you're going to push back to down dog. And in the symbol of the Muladhara, which is our 1st root chakra, you can walk your feet forwards. Bend your knees coming up into chair pose. So here right now that Muladhara is active. Our first chakra becomes active. So this chakra has this square inside. So the earth element is the main element associated with the square. It's that yellowish color. But the Muladhara chakra is considered to be red, earthy red, which is same as the element of fire. And you just push up to standing. So again, there's this idea. We activate the center here. When we do all this movement, there's like this alchemical process that happens. And we start to use energy to make changes in the body. And one of the things we want to do is we want to send this energy down to our root chakra and slowly start to waken up that dormant potential energy, or Shakti. Kundalini is maybe another name you've heard for it. So when I talked last week about potential energy, that's what we're really trying to work with, something that we have deep inside of us by making these movements, by working with the breath. Okay, just come to a nice standing position. Let's do a little bit balancing on our toes, coming up, coming back on your feet. You get a little more space. Just go back and forth on the front of your toes and on the back of your toe, back of your heels. Okay, now standing on the back of your heels, we're going to do a little play that I like to do in class, and this is fun for kids too. We're going to walk around on our heels. So you have a choice. You can just walk back and forth on your mat, or you can walk forwards, you can walk backwards, and just feel like everything is balancing on your heels. We'll do this for a bit. Imagine these are your roots. It's your only connection to earth. Isn't that strange right now? That's what's keeping you up. Well, for the stability, the physical part. Now let's move to the tips of our toes. And we can walk back and forth on our tippy toes. Feeling nice and long, like ballerinas. Have fun, guys. Yes, it's. I know. I'm sometimes a little bit serious, so I have to loosen up here. Okay. Now let's go to the outer edges, right? Outer edges. This is kind of like a duck walk. Keep moving. Feel that connection. And how are you maintaining your balance right now? So you're doing this awkward movement, but how does your body stay up, right? Now go to the inside. Everyone's different. Some is harder than another, right? Coming on the inside edges of your feet. So you're really finding the edges of your feet. Now we're going to come back to center. Okay, feet are nice and active. And now we're going to start marching. We're going to start marching in place. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add breath to it with a 4 count. So you're going to inhale 4, exhale 4. Ready? Begin. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Stop. Close the eyes in Tadasana, mountain pose. And just notice the effect. And then we'll open our eyes, come to the top of our mats, take a deep inhalation, lifting the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale halfway, Step back to a down dog. Just pedal the feet up here in down dog, really extending through your fingers. Feet should be nice and active now, really awake. Bend your knees for a bit. Bend your knees and then just lift your hips up higher. Just push the left foot down, really stretching out that calf. And then push the right foot down. And when you're ready, we're going to come forwards down to the earth on our knees. We're going to cross our feet. We're going to grab our straps. And we're going to roll onto our backs. Okay, so once everyone's on their back, and if you don't have a strap, you can alternatively just use your arm. So we're going to start with the right leg up to the sky. If you have a strap, by all means, bring it in here. Okay, now, leg is nice and straight. And then you're going to take your bottom leg and straighten that leg out too. Okay? So you've got a bit of a stretch already. And for some people, this is enough. If you don't have a strap, you're just holding on to the back of your thigh. And then you're gently going to pull your toes towards you. So now you're starting to bring your awareness into your legs. Again, starting to see where do you hold the tension. Take a few breaths here. Maybe you even feel a little shaking. I always like to say shaking's good. That's like an interesting release of the muscles. I remember when I used to first start yoga, I would do those warrior twos for a long time. Oh, I'd be shaking. The body. Now let's take a strap in our right hand. Place your left hand on top of your left hip bone. Find that hip bone. Keep that there to keep that leg nice and long and straight. Left foot is flexed. And then you can start to open your leg all the way to the right side. Now, if you start to feel the left hip lift up, then pull the right leg back. We want to keep the opening grounded. So here, just pay attention to what's happening in your adductor, your inner thigh. It's a great slow release of the inner thigh muscles. And just notice your breath. Maybe even now you can play with your breath a little bit by doing a little ujjayi breathing, squeezing into the belly as you do so, and see what effect that has. Then you can take the strap all the way back to center and switch hands. And now what we're going to do is keep both hips grounded. So take your right hand, grab that right hip bone so you feel that. And you are just going to move the leg the smallest amount to the left side. So if you keep the hip grounded, it won't go very far, but you're going to feel a stretch right away somewhere along your IT band. The IT band is that outer side of the thigh. And I always love to give the example that the IT band is so strong that it has a tensile strength that it could actually hold a car. That's why you don't want it to be super stretchy. It needs to be strong. But you can feel a little bit of release over time. We do this in a really gentle way, so it's nice on the body. That should be off on the computer. I'm glad that's not happening in Shavasana. And then you can bring your leg back to the center. And then just take your left foot up. Release the right leg. Straighten out the right leg. And that right foot's going to be flexed. And again, take the left foot and start to pull the left foot towards you. So feeling the extension of the right leg really grounded on the earth. And then you start to pull those left toes towards you. Feeling this on your back, on your hamstring. Now it's our first time getting into our hamstring, so it might take a little time. And be with it. Let it unfold. And then you can take the strap into your left hand and slowly open the left leg. I have a wall in the way, but you can actually use a wall sometimes. That's a nice thing to play with. You can push your foot into the wall. Again, right leg's extended and nice and grounded. Take a few breaths here. Then inhale the left leg to the center. Switch hands. Place the left hand on the left hip and then slowly lead the left leg to the right side. So again, feel the pull along your IT band. So we're going to stretch these legs, we're opening them, and then we're going to strengthen them. That's really a lot of the process of yoga. It's just opening up, moving, and building strength, sort of like, it's like remodeling ourselves to be the most efficient. And then you can bring your foot back. And then you can remove the strap and just let this leg go all the way down to the earth. And for a moment, take your arms above your head. So you've got a nice long line. And then just take your right hand, grab your left wrist, and then just pull that arm as long as you can. At the same time, the left leg's extending. It's not the banana, it's really a straight pull, just feeling the length in the body. And then we'll do the other side. So that the heel, your right heel moves away from you, and then you pull that right arm nice and long. And then take your palms together, feet together, they're above your head. And then you're going to lift your hands above you, palms are together, and then bend your knees. And you're going to twist a little bit, not all that way. And then you're going to see if you can roll up without touching your hands. Let's see, we're going to just play with this. So use your feet and roll up into boat with your hands together. Nice, girls. Straighten the legs. Take a couple more breaths here. And then release. Cross your legs over. We're going to come back to all fours. Okay, coming back to this stable position. Feeling the corners connected to the earth. And then let's take our left foot back. We're going to pivot it back just like a bicycle, and then take the right foot nice and long. Lengthen the arm above the head as you inhale. Exhale back up. Inhale, lengthen from the foot to the fingers. Inhale back up. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale, lengthening, maybe looking up at your armpit or the ceiling. That's nicer. And 1 more. Super. Come over, back to all fours, and then we're going to do the other side. So the right foot pivots back, and feel nice and grounded on the left leg, and then the arm lifts straight up. Before you do the movement with the arm, just notice where your arm on the floor is and see if you're right over it. Because sometimes we tend to move at an angle, like I'm doing there. That is harder on the body. That takes more energy. If you come back to here, you'll feel a little bit more ease as you inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And I forgot to do this on the other side, so we'll come back to it, but just take your knee, bend it, try to grab your foot, and then you can look down if you need the balance, or you can play with looking up to the ceiling. Now, if it's okay for you to rotate your arm, you can actually take the hand from the, not just the outer part of the foot, it can come to the inner side, and then the thumb is touching the center of the foot. You're going to look up and open the chest. Take a couple breaths here, and then straighten the leg, straighten the arm, come back, and then we're going to switch to the other side and do that little trick that I missed. Okay, so just straighten out like before, bend the knee, grab the foot, and this might be enough here, right? But if you want to start to open the chest more, take your hand around, thumb comes up, and you can start to look up to the ceiling. Notice what's happening in your breath. Where is your breath? Then you can straighten the leg, come all the way back to center. And then just do a few circles with the hips. This should feel good right now. Kind of unwinding what we were doing in our back. And we'll move the other direction. When you're ready, we're going to come to that table position first with the lifted legs. So you've got a nice strong base. You can feel the support. And then we're going to push all the way up to standing. Not standing, I'm sorry, to down dog. Let's just hang out in down dog a bit here. And let's take our right leg up behind us. Bend our knee. Bring it forwards to the front of the mat. The left is going to join it. We're going to fold in, sit back. We're going to come into Utkatasana, chair pose. You're feeling the connection, center of gravity. You're going to bring your hands to your hips for a second. And just feel that base, right? Right here, your pelvic bowl. And then take the arms up, sit even a little bit deeper. And then just for fun, bring your hands to your heart center. And then see if you can take this left foot, bring it back. Nice, right into a high lunge. Hands at the heart center. Take a couple more breaths here. We're going to do a little twist, so this time we're going to come back, take the left elbow on the right knee, and then open up here. Just notice you have to work to keep your balance, right? Okay, inhale back. Now we're going to lift our knee all the way up off the earth. Woo. You got it? And grab your toe, grab your big toe, grab your right hand on your right toe. I'm going to use the wall. Right hand on your right hip, and just straighten the leg. Okay, this is just a first fun balance, right? Work on it best you can. Bring the foot back, shake it out. Okay. It might be one that you need a strap, but if you can't bring your legs straight out, it's fine if it's bent. Over time, we slowly get there. I still have a nice little crook in my knee. Okay, let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold down. Step back to your down dog. Pedal the feet out here. And this time we're going to take our left foot up to the sky, bend the knee, bring it forwards, bring your right leg to join it. Let's go back to our chair pose. Sitting nice and strong, feeling that you're grounding. Feel the feet on the earth, right? Legs are super strong. Okay, bring your hands to your heart center. And when you're ready, we're going to take the right foot back into a high lunge. Notice the breath becomes a little stronger. Notice your pelvis. You bring your right hip maybe a little bit more forwards. And then push that heel back as you start to lean forwards. And then you're going to twist your knee, your right elbow to your left knee. Take a few breaths here. Okay, you're going to look down now, and then you're going to bring that right knee up. Whew. As you're ready, grab the knee. This is step one. You may just stay there. And then grab your big toe with your fingers. And then if you feel balanced, you can start to straighten that leg right out in front of you. Whenever I look towards you guys, I lose my balance. But anyway, just hanging out here for a couple breaths. And then come down, gently release, shake it out. And I don't have any tea. Next time I get it. If you have tea or water, take a little sip. And then come to Tadasana, our mountain pose. Okay, I hope everyone's feeling good. We're gonna move a little quicker now. Let's do 3 rounds of sun salutations, Surya Namaskar, to keep building that inner fire so we can work with that earth element. So think about like what fire does with wood, right? It starts to burn, it starts to use, it starts to change it. But also fire with metal can make something completely new. So it depends on what the fire is working with. So that's the metaphor. But I think you guys get the idea what I'm talking about. Let's inhale up. Exhale all the way back down, connecting with the earth, lifting halfway. Take your right foot back, release the knee. Inhaling up to our low lunge. Exhale back down. Coming to plank position. Releasing chaturanga. And then cobra, baby cobra, whatever works for you. Push back to down dog. Right leg goes back up. Bend the right knee. Bring it forwards. Release the left. Inhale up. Exhale. Draw your left foot to the front of the mat as you release. Inhale all the way up. Hands come together at your heart center and continue down the center line to the earth. Inhale halfway. The left foot steps back. Inhaling up. Exhale. Plank. Chaturanga. Bhujangasana, cobra. Our down dog. Left foot lifts up. Bend the knee close to your belly as you bring it in and you release. Inhaling up. Exhale. Right comes forward, fold in. Inhale all the way up to standing. Our first round. Let's begin again. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale halfway. Step the right foot back. Inhale up. Hands come to the earth. Lengthen. Bend. Lift. Pushing back to down dog. Lifting the right leg, bending the right knee, coming forwards. Feeling the movement of your body with the breath. As we inhale, exhale down the center line. Left foot. Forwards, release, inhaling up. Let's go right into the third one. As you exhale down, you inhale halfway, step your right foot back, lift up to a low lunge, exhale to your plank, all the way to earth, foot up to the sky, coming in and down to the earth. Inhaling up. Left comes forwards as we fold in. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, left side as you come down, touching the floor. Inhaling halfway. Step your left foot back. Inhale up. Exhale. You can always do an up dog if you prefer. Pushing to down dog. Lifting that left leg forwards. Bringing right, folding in, coming in, all the way back to the heart. Just notice the breath. Just close your eyes for a couple minutes. Notice the heart beating. Notice the feet touching the earth. Just notice the strength and stability in your body. And let's release our hands. And everybody grab your block. You just need one to start. And we're going to do a really, really simple exercise that helps release your hip flexor. That's the common way of thinking about it. It also relates to our psoas muscle. And just a quick anatomy lesson. The psoas muscle starts connected to this part of the back, right? And then it wraps around under your organs. So under your organs, and it comes under the organs all the way down into here. So when you lift up, okay, that's the long part of it. And then there's also a connection. It's the iliac muscle. It's called the iliopsoas. And that muscle is like right next to the hip bones underneath. It's like a fan. So when you lift up, just everyone practice that for a moment. Right. That is your psoas muscle. And this is such an important muscle in our body. And actually, I'll do a whole class on that sometime. I've done it before. Because it's super helpful to understand a little bit about the mechanics of the body and to understand this whole idea that our roots come from here down, right? The whole movement of walking is not the knee just moving. It's not just the hip. It's all the way from the action of this muscle going forwards. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to our block and give yourself a little space against the wall so that can support you. And then we're just going to gently release our hip flexor. We're going to do this back and forth for about a count of 20. Just noticing how your leg can start to let go. I've got my left leg moving, my right leg strong. A lot of us have imbalances in our pelvis that we're not even aware of. So this kind of exercise can help us start to see how can we find better balance in the pelvis. It can be tipped up and down. It can be slightly rotated forward and backwards. Okay, and then just relax, let that go. Come to standing, and just maybe for a moment, just touch your hip bone. Maybe just notice if you feel any difference between each side. Yeah, I wish you would have done it before. I just remembered, but anyway. Okay, so that's the first side. And let's loosen up the other side. So again, come up on your other foot onto the block. And then just start letting this leg loosen. You're giving the psoas muscle room to extend, to release. And in fact, we'll do one more exercise on the floor just to kind of give you a better sense of the psoas muscle. Take a couple more breaths here. Release. And you can take your block away. And just notice if you feel a little more ease in this area, in the groin area. We can even start to do a couple circles here. Let's actually do it back and forth first. So keep your legs straight. And maybe touch your hip bones and just notice this movement back and forth. I'm going to turn here, back. And you can make circles. Then we're going to do one more thing standing, but I want to come to the earth first just to show you all how you can feel this muscle. And everyone take your blanket, and then you're just going to roll it up. And we're going to lie on our back just for a little bit. And where you're going to want it on your back is just about at the sacrum. So everyone come down to the earth. And just place it kind of right below where your butt cheeks start. Okay, so you've got a nice long space here. Now straighten out the legs, and you might have to play, like mine's a little bit high, so you really want your lumbar spine is off the earth, and you're going to feel probably a little bit of pull in the front. Okay? And that's what we want to feel. So take your left knee to your chest. Really squeeze that left knee in. And just notice this opening in your right leg. And just play with for a second, just lifting that right foot off the earth. And notice what muscles you're using. You can point both toes. Maybe lift the right leg a little bit higher. And even a little bit higher now, you're really using your thigh muscles to hold it. And then you're going to release. So you can feel this release now. Feeling that kind of opening right there across. Yeah, good. Okay, now take your left leg out, straighten it out, and just feel each side for a moment. Notice if there's any difference. And then take your right knee to your chest. Really squeeze your right knee so you feel kind of a little bit of a pull right around the groin area. And then just point both feet and then start to lift that left foot. Noticing that the thighs are active. Lift a little bit higher. And even a little bit higher. And then release. Stretch both legs out. And then bend your knees. And then you can just lift up your hips. Remove the blanket. Just slowly roll onto your back. And then take your knees to your chest. Remember that how we rolled up before. Take your hands above your head, palms together. And just see if you can kind of use the force of just the bottom half of your body to help you roll up all the way to a boat. So I'm using this back and forth motion. And as I'm ready, yeah, I go up. Okay, beautiful. Maybe straighten the legs. Core strength feels a little bit stronger now, right? And then cross the legs. We're going to come over back to all fours. And then let's get a little bit into the glutes. We didn't quite do as much as I wanted to the glutes yet. So let's take our left foot up. And that back left thigh is parallel to the earth. And your foot is flexed. So it's very, I don't know, it's kind of a square. There's a square geometry, stability in this position. You're just going to start lifting up your glute 10 times. And as you do it, see if you can focus on your breath, maybe using a 4-4 breath pattern. I think you're ready to bring that leg down. We'll do the same thing. Here we go. Okay, I know it was probably more than 10 times, so that's good. Let's do a little bit more rolling. Really roll in that low back. It'll feel good. And then go the other direction. And then we're going to push back up to our standing position. And then lift the right leg up to the sky. Bring the right leg forwards, and we're going to go into warrior two. So coming back up to warrior two, feeling nice and strong in the legs. Beautiful. Take a couple breaths here. And just reverse your warrior. Bending down into that front knee. Lifting the arm up above and looking up. Inhale back to warrior two. Let's go to the other side. Hands come to the hips. Switch around. And lean right into your warrior. Opening your arms nice and wide. Feeling this incredible stability in the legs. Just for a moment, we can all take our arms up. Just start to do a little movement around your shoulders. Feeling a little bit of opening in the shoulders. And then you can settle a little bit more into your warrior two, looking at your middle finger. Maybe checking to see that the knee is right above the ankle. Reverse the warrior. Lean in a little bit more to that front leg. And come over to warrior two all the way down into side angle pose. And try to lift this elbow up so you're not putting so much weight in it. It can be there, but you're not resting on it. Feel the extension from your outer heel all the way to your fingertips. Seeing the geometry of this pose. Come back to warrior two. And come back to standing. Now we're going to just take our legs together, jump to the center, and we're going to do one kind of simple pose before we do a couple poses. This really helps us get aware of our center alignment. So take your feet together, and just take your hands out in front of you for a moment. Then take your left hand, So it's right at the heart, and the palm is facing the earth. Then you just take your other hand out, and then again, palm is going to face the earth. Now, keeping the hips forwards, you're going to start to twist to the right. Twist to the right. Just as far as you can go. Looking back at your fingers. Neck is long. Just notice that you're not scrunching up the neck. Release that back shoulder. Now squeeze your left glute and see if you can twist a little bit more back. Maybe close your eyes now. Just feel the integrity of the pose. And gently open your eyes, bringing your arm back to center, bending this hand, and then opening the other hand. Readjusting as needed. Inhale, exhale, twisting back to the left side this time, keeping the eyes open first. Finding your stability, legs are strong. Now squeeze your right glute. That's like your right outer cheek. And see if you can twist a little bit more into the pose. Close your eyes if you feel balanced. Where's your center in this pose? Is it your heart? Is it down by your belly, your center of gravity? Your feet? Where are you right now? Come all the way back to center. Release the hands, shake the legs out. And then we're going to go into a beautiful tree pose, because if we're working on roots, I mean, what else, right? And not only that, I mean, tree pose is wonderful. Anytime you balance on one leg, it's really good for strengthening the ankle, the foot, and the muscles in the calf. So we're going to go shift to the left leg first. So just take your right foot, and if you have slippery pants or unbalanced, you can put your foot right on the calf, the fleshy part, or you have to go above the knee and get that little space right on your thigh. And just hanging out here for a bit and just noticing you might feel more stable. We've really worked on building the stability, the structure internally. And then take your hands to your heart center. And just notice how you feel right here. And if you're ready, okay, we're rooting down. Remember, the roots are all the way from this belly area down into the earth. And just imagine that this part is so stable it can't move. Just have the vision that your trunk is so strong, that part doesn't need to move. Just the feet have those little micro movements. You're drawing up from the earth, and then you're opening the branches. And the thoughts are just like the wind. The thoughts are what make you move here. So see if you can find this stillness, this one-pointed focus, so drishti, to find your stability. And from that stability, we're going to play with moving the branches to the left side and to the right side. Moving tree. Just like the tree's playing in the wind. And then you're going to exhale the hands back to the heart center and release your leg. Shake out the left leg. See how you're feeling. Nice. And let's move to our right leg. So again, first, find the grounding. A common image to use is imagine that your roots are going all the way down into the earth. So now you're completely connected. And then once those roots go down, they're going to start to draw up the nutrients, right? The support to grow. So you find your stability. Find this almost steadiness and ease, sthira and sukha, this ease in the body. And then as you're ready, let's take the arms wide this time, wide, expanding as you lift up all the way. And just feeling the stability that exists in you. And from your source, you're going to start to play a little bit. Imagine the winds are coming. You're just moving your branches. It's going to be tricky. You might have to shift yourself a little bit. Woo! Let's just play. And then you can bring your hands back to your heart center. And then release this leg down. Beautiful. Okay. One more balancing pose. We probably would like our straps for this. Again, we're really trying to strengthen our legs. Work on having a nice strong pelvis. So we have this base, and from this strength in the physical body, a big thing sometimes that people talk about yoga is the meditation and I guess focusing on almost transcendence, getting out of your body. But really what we're trying to do is be in our body. Embodiment. We want to be here so we can fully experience everything in this human body that we're so lucky to have. Okay, enough, I know. So take your strap, right? And just find it however you'd like. You can take it with one hand, two hands, whatever's comfortable for you. And again, find the stability in your left leg first. Now, I find it's easier to use one hand once I'm here. Now, once you've got that leg out, we're going to start to open up. You might wobble. That's okay. Now, if you don't have a strap or a scarf, or some people can just use their hand, and you're going to open all the way. Using your breath. Inhale back to center and release. Now, other side I'm going to do without a strap, but please go ahead and use a strap. So the other option is you bring your leg up like we did before, and then you take the big leg forwards, right? The big toe forwards. So I've got this balance first. I'm pushing into my right outer heel, so I'm super stable. And then I start to open. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Oops. And then, once you've got your balance, you're going to take a few breaths here. You can gently come back to center. Release the leg. Shake it out. Shake out the hands. You can move your strap. And we will come to the center of our mat. No, actually, we're going to come to the top of our mat. Take that. Inhale up. Exhale, fold all the way down. And just walk yourself back to a down dog. Just bend your knees here a couple times. And then you're going to take your right leg up behind you, bend your knee, and we're going to come into pigeon pose. So in pigeon, the right knee comes behind the right wrist. Now, some people like to bring their leg parallel to the front of the mat. For me, I much prefer to have my foot back and kind of resting right under my left thigh. It's sort of the groin that we've been working on. It's a little bit off of the pubic bone to the left side. And just play with that. Now, sometimes people sit in this too much and you can hurt your lower back. So as you need to, be on your fingertips. Okay. And a little trick I like to do sometimes to see where my back leg is I take my toes here. I lift up that back leg and then I look under. Right? I bend down, I look under, and I see, okay, the placement's nice. And then we're going to walk up a little bit more to our fingertips, but bring the belly in. And then if this is okay, you can stay where you are on your fingertips, or you can bring your right hand to your right thigh, and then take your left hand behind you. And then maybe you're going to play with bending that left knee and grabbing your left foot. That may be enough. You might even go a little bit further and lift the right arm. And you can draw the left foot in. Whoopsie. Sometimes it's easier to do that first and then lift the right arm. Okay. And you'll notice again, this is a balance too. You have to have integrity. Bring it into the center line. Then we release. Whew. And let's come forwards onto our elbows. And just first find the length in your spine here. And this may be just fine for you. This may be all you want to do, feeling the length from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. Or you can stack one hand on top of another, and then just place your third eye right on those fists. This feels really nice. This is like, it kind of is grounding, releases the spine. Or if you want to go into a full pigeon, then you're just going to release all the way down to the earth. Forehead touches. And we're going to hang out here for about 10 breaths. This is an intense position. In our hips, we often hold a lot of tension. There is an idea in yoga that a lot of our emotions get stuck in there. But just see how it feels for you to hang out here a bit. Using your breath to handle the discomfort. It should never be painful. If it's painful, you back off. But there may be a level of discomfort in this pose. And then you're slowly going to come out of this back onto your hands. Right. You're going to take your back toes, lift up that leg again, and then take the whole leg off the floor. Lift up to the sky. Maybe shake out the leg a little bit and bring it back down to the earth. And then we're going to go to the other side. So take the left leg up behind you. Inhale it to the front of the mat, behind your wrist. And again, just check out your placement by lifting that back knee, but curling under and releasing. And sometimes, like, one side is easier than the other to get up on. It kind of depends how you're situated. So the more you can get yourself straight up, the more you're going to feel a little bit more balanced as you go into it. So before we lift up the left hand, let's bend this right knee. Grab that foot. And just play with this first. This may be enough for you. Now, if you want to bring it closer, turn your hand like this. So you turn your hand under. So you're grabbing the foot between the crook of your thumb and your second finger. Maybe placing your hand on your knee, and then maybe going for it and seeing what your balance is. And then slowly releasing to come out of it. Whew. Yeah, that's harder, right, than you expect? Then come down to your elbows. Ooh, just lengthen the spine. Feel that length. Feel the stretch now in that left outer hip. Place one fist on top of another. Release the forehead. Take a couple breaths here. And then release all the way with your hands on the earth. Feeling that you can just abandon yourself here, that the earth is completely supporting you. Slowly come back up to your elbows and just pause here first. Notice your breath. Take your hands wide. And you're going to lift this back knee up and lift the left leg all the way up. Shake it out. And come into down dog. And just notice how down dog feels now. Maybe your heels touch the earth, maybe not. And bend your knees a little bit to experience the length in the spine, and then release the heels. And we're going to look forwards. We're going to walk our feet so they're going to be outside of our hands. We're going to walk them all the way. Yeah. And then we're going to come into a squat. Now, if your heels come up off the earth, I recommend taking that blanket you rolled and then just put it under the heels. You don't want it to be something uncomfortable for your heels. And this is one of those positions. The more you do it, the easier you get. And for a lot of us, it's not the most comfortable right away. So just hanging out here, just hanging out with your hands at the heart center. Now, squeeze the knees into the arms and push the arms into the knees. Just feel that opens you a little bit more. Spine's nice and long. And then we're going to take our left hand, placing it on the earth here. Push your left arm against you, and then just open up to the sky. And then just look up towards your right hand, feeling the extension from the middle of your left hand finger all the way to your middle finger in your right hand. Feel that opening. And then we're going to come back. We're going to switch sides. So inhale, opening. And come back to center. And no practice working with Muladhara would be complete without some Mula Bandha. Now, if you're uncomfortable, go ahead and just take a little break on your seat for a moment as I explain this. If not, you can just stay with me in Malasana. So in yoga, along with the chakras that we talked about, we do something where we work with bandhas, which are, they use the word sometimes lock, but it's not quite a lock. It's more like, you know, when there's a river and they use these locks, I don't know what the word, I think it's a lock, to open the water so it can flow, and then the boat can move along the canal, and then they close it again. Something like that. It helps control the energy flow in your body. So Mula Bandha is our root lock. And what it does, it involves lifting your pelvic floor. So you're lifting up the perineum, you're lifting up the anus, and in front, the vagina. I don't want to say it for a guy. So you're lifting that area, right? So you're lifting the pelvic floor. And as you lift the pelvic floor, it's like you're lifting it towards that center, right below the belly button that I was talking about. And you're kind of holding that energy inside instead of letting it all release into the earth. So how we're going to do this is we're going to inhale, and then you do the lift. So you kind of squeeze the anus, squeeze in the urethra. I can't think of the name for that. And lift up your perineum. That's it. Just lift, right? And some people say it's like lifting like an elevator. And that lifts up to the center as you're holding the breath. And then your exhale, you're going to release it. So let's do this again. Let's inhale. Lift the root lock. We need to exhale. And another thing to do, Bring your chin down. So we're going to keep the energy right in the torso. This is not quite Jalandhara Bandha, but it's another similar lock. So the chin comes down. Let's lift up as you breathe in. Lift the root lock. Close your chin. Exhale, release. Let's do this again. Inhale. Lift your pelvic floor. Close your chin. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale. Lift. Close. Release. And then just notice. It is very subtle and it takes a long time. It's kind of a strange thing. Maybe if you've ever done Kegel exercises, that's a way of kind of having a sense, but it's a little bit different. But just to play with. And why this is really important, you can all just come to seated for a moment, is we really want to work on stabilizing this container of the energy in our body. So we really work on strengthening the physical body, but then we want to start working on strengthening the energetic flow in our body as well. And coming to a comfortable position, we're just going to do a little bit of Nadi Shodhana before we roll down onto our backs, because I realize time is flying by. So let's just do 10 rounds. Inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left. And you have an option. I have two teachers that teach it a completely different way. Some like to do, actually, let's do it this way today, to take the second and third finger down because it's more grounding. Whereas when I put it on the third eye, it's really drawing that energy and awareness to your third eye center, preparing you for meditation. So we're just going to be a little bit more about physical embodiment today. So let's take the right thumb to cover the right nostril. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. And continue for about 5 more breaths at your own pace. And keeping your eyes closed, just place your right hand on your knee. And continue this breath without using the hand. So you're going to inhale to the left, exhale through the right side. Inhale right, exhale left. And just start to see if you can perceive this subtle current of energy that you play with prana when you're using your breath this way. As you inhale from the base, you're inhaling from the Muladhara Chakra, up the left side lunar channel, the Ida. And you're exhaling down the right side through the solar channel, Pingala. Ultimately balancing the lunar and solar forces in your body. And just let go of all control of the breath. And just let yourself be breathed. And we're going to gently open our eyes. And if you'd like to stay in meditation, in meditative pose, you're welcome to stay seated. Otherwise, everyone can put on a warm top and grab a blanket if you need. And we're going to roll down onto our backs. If you would like to do any kind of twist, by all means do so. Or if you'd like to do a happy baby. And once you're on your back or if you're seated, just let gravity do its work. Let the body just settle into the earth, letting go of all effort. Maybe just noticing the hands, how they try to grip, and see if you can just stretch them for a moment, releasing their grasping, and then let them relax. Maybe notice the rigidity in your feet, and just squeeze your feet in, and then let them relax. And do the same thing with your arms, just tensing the arms and releasing. And tensing your legs and releasing. And take one deep breath, maybe letting out a sigh. And let go. Let yourself return to source. Keeping your awareness inwards. Begin to draw your attention to the very base of your spine. And in front of there, deep in there, imagine seeing a beautiful red rose. Maybe sense or feel the color. Maybe notice the smell of the rose. And just notice that with each breath, this rose starts to open. The petals start to open. And it becomes more fragrant. And on your next inhalation, just imagine inhaling the smell of this rose. And exhale, sending that smell everywhere in your body. And you can start to inhale more deeply. Exhale more deeply. As you start to come back to your physical body. Maybe having that faint scent of the rose always in the background. You can start to make small movements with your hands and your fingers. And then with your wrists and your ankles. And then take a deep inhalation, lifting the hands above your head, giving yourself a nice stretch, completely waking up the body. And then bring your hands next to your hips as you bend your knees and curl into a little ball. Giving yourself a big hug. Maybe smelling, feeling, touching, noticing the body you're in. And then you can roll over to your right side, placing your left hand on the earth and finding that contact. Rooting in. And as you push into the earth, notice how it helps lift you up. And we'll come to our seated position, a comfortable seated position, and take our hands in front of our heart center. And just notice when you're sitting now, see if you can become aware of your root chakra, of your connection to the physical body, the sense of smell, the ability to let go of what we don't need. From that place of rootedness and connection, let your own originate from there, all the way as you come up into your heart center, ending up in your third eye center. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Shanti. 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 Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I did go a little bit beyond the hour and a half. So thank you for staying. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Courtney's back tomorrow at 9:30. I'll be back Tuesday at 5. And I think she mentioned we've got some other things we're kind of working on, fun things that are in the works. But listen, wherever you are, be well, be safe, and find your connection to this wonderful earth we're on. Bye.